In August, Netanyahu came to the United States. He met with paid American influencers, the ones that were getting $7,000 per post, Israel's eighth front in this war. It's the war on information. It's the war on propaganda. Specifically, it's the war to control the Americans' public opinion. A lot of people know that Israel is attacking all of their neighbors, 7 of their neighbors: Gaza, West Bank, Iraq, Iran, Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon. But what a lot of people have never heard about is they actually have an eighth front, Israel's eighth front in this war. And it's the war on information. It's the war on propaganda. Specifically, it's the war to control the Americans' public opinion, because that is critical for Israel. They know, they've always understood this throughout their Zionist movement, that having and securing the backing of an empire, first the British and then the American, was crucial, was essential for protecting themselves from any accountability, any resistance groups that would topple their project. And so this all started after October 7th, when footage from Gaza of the genocide was going viral on TikTok, specifically very viral. Billions of people were, for the first time for many, coming face to face with what Zionism looked like on the ground. And it was genocidal. And their opinion on Israel was quickly souring from being exposed to this footage, from being exposed to this information about the history of resistance, the history of the fight for liberation for the Palestinian people. And this was a huge problem for Israel, because never before had America's public opinion swayed, faltered, questioned the unconditional support for the Zionist state. And there's an infamous call from the ADL's leader, a guy named Jonathan Greenblatt. He explaining that, Israel has a TikTok problem, or the issue's not left versus right, it's young versus old. And Jonathan Greenblatt led the charge alongside AIPAC and Zionist lobbies, who own a supermajority of US Congress, to push this fast-track bill that would either ban TikTok or force the sale of it. Why? Because they wanted to put it under their control, under their censorship regime. This is the Eighth Front War. And so, the ADL, AIPAC backed this bill. In Congress, they stuck this alongside a package that gave billions of dollars in weapons to Israel, which of course our Congress is never going to say no to. And that's how the TikTok ban was motivated. The Congress members who wrote the bill admitted that it was because of October 7th. It was because of its anti-Israel content. They said this in Congress. Anthony Blinken and Mitt Romney, Secretary of State and Senator, met a month at a policy conference after this bill was set into motion, signed into law, and they said the reason there was bipartisan support for it was because we needed to get rid of the pro-Palestinian content on TikTok, which was far more, overwhelmingly more pro-Palestinian than all the other major social medias in the West. So Jonathan Greenblatt takes this idea of the information war that he's already spearheading in the West, and he visits Israel's Knesset, their parliament, in January 2025, and he has one goal: convince Israeli officials to adopt the Eighth Front as official military doctrine. He is talking to their parliament. He's saying capturing TikTok is a key part of this strategy. He says we need to take the digital front, the information war, deadly seriously. We need more funding. We need to officially adopt this as policy, and that's exactly what Israel did. Since the beginning of last year, Netanyahu and other Israeli officials have adopted that rhetoric into their speeches. They talk about the Eighth Front openly. They go to policy conference, they discuss it. And it's actually in August, Netanyahu came to the United States. He met with paid American influencers, the ones that were getting $7,000 per post. And he's giving them kind of a lesson. And, there's a video of this. It's quite revealing. And he asks the group of influencers that are on his payroll, what is the most important purchase going on in this Eighth Front? That is what the meeting was about. And they say TikTok. TikTok was the key, the most important purchase going on for Israel's Eighth Front. And who are they giving it to? Who have they given it to? Zionist billionaire, MAGA oligarch Larry Ellison, CEO of Oracle, which is a CIA project. He runs data centers for the IDF in Israel. He is close with Netanyahu. Netanyahu parties on his island with him. He's the biggest private donor to the FIDF, and this is the man who just took control of TikTok. It's part of the Eighth Front. Larry Ellison is the Eighth Front, and it's not just that, but they bought CBS News. They turned it into a propaganda outfit for the Trump regime and for the Israeli regime. And they've poured hundreds of millions of dollars into not only paying those influencers $7,000, but to spread bots on social media. There was a report recently from an Israeli news outlet that revealed that over half of Israeli social media accounts are bot farms supporting Netanyahu and his party in the state of Israel. And so what they've done now is captured every single one of the major platforms in the West. And the point is so they can remove pro-Palestinian content. After Larry Ellison bought TikTok, they changed the guidelines. They wouldn't let people criticize Epstein. They banned a lot of the people in the movement, like Jacob Berger, like Bassan, off of TikTok because they don't want their voices being out there. They want to stop them from leading the American people to bringing liberation for Palestine and also for themselves because they are connected.